A Radio 1 station. Boston's home for classic soul and R&B. 1090 AM. WILD. Boston.
Houston, Texas. In fact, I'll just play it for you if you haven't heard it. 13-year-old boy, literally, it looked like Rodney King, beaten by cops. Listen to this.
March. A security camera captures the end of a Houston police pursuit. Burglar Chad Holley was trying to make a run for it. He's clipped by a police car. On the ground, he clearly puts his arms out in the surrender pose, then folds his arms behind his head before police move in. But look what happens next. The first officer stomps on his head. He's repeatedly kicked. We count 4 officers doing the kicking. Then one officer lands 5 separate kicks. It looks like the kicks are landing on Holley's head. You'll see more kicks. Holley has been on the ground, cops on top of him, all around him, for about 20 seconds. And then another police officer lands 5 heavy punches. The officer who did the kicking in the beginning does it again, this time from behind. Then he stomps on the back of Holley's legs. Then just before Holley is picked up to be taken to a patrol car, there's another lick.
The first showing of the video will be in a courtroom, sir.
But now we're making the video public. Months after the DA, the police chief, and the mayor refuse to let you see it.
I got the tape legally, so sit back and watch your television tonight like everybody else in this city, because we're all going to see what's going on.
Community activist Quanell X had been sued by one of the cops in the Holley case. A judge gave him the right to get the tape, and he gave it to us. Just minutes after we made our copy, the federal judge who had blocked release of this video was on the phone trying to stop its release. It was too late.
Absolutely, it's a powerful tape, and it's a shameful tape because you see police officers out there at the scene behaving themselves like criminals, not law enforcement officers who respect and honor their duty to the badge. And I'm telling you, when the people in the hood see it, they're going to be angry also, and now it's time that it come out.
4 Houston police officers were indicted for what you've just seen on video, but on misdemeanor charges of official oppression, not assault.
I want to know how in the hell did they do what they did to that boy on that videotape, and they only got charged with official oppression.
Now, as I pointed out earlier in the show, it's a couple of things. Because you're going to have people say, well, he was running, he was a criminal. Once he laid on the ground, put his hands behind his back, and didn't move, they had no justification for beating that boy. None whatsoever. What they did was a criminal activity at that point. It's called police abuse. But it's a couple of things I want to point out. One, the mayor, the district attorney, the chief of police, all trying to keep the tape from not being shown to the public. All working together. Then the federal judge gets involved and calls and says, oh, don't air the tape. Too late. It's already running, partner. That shows you how bad our criminal system is in this country. You see why innocent people go to jail every single day. They all in cahoots. That's unbelievable. Well, no, it's not. Only in America. As my brother Richard Muhammad would say, only in America. Only in America can they tell you that that's justice. Only in America could 4 cops beat somebody, stomp him out literally, if me and 3 of the other truth fighters got together and stumped somebody out like that, we'd be looking at felony charges. They didn't even get assault charges. 877-373-9766, number to dial. We need to literally stop playing, start putting our money together, get out of debt, and create. Look, if we get out of debt and put our money together, we can go buy our own stuff and move away from all this crap.
877-373-9766. 877-373-9766. Join the Truth Fighters in full effect right now.
All right, Truth Fighters, 877-373-9766, number to dial. We're going to play this interview for you guys. Listen to this. Because, I think history kind of speaks for itself as far as the foundation of the Ku Klux Klan.
Well, everybody interprets it differently, I'm sure.
Let me ask you this. Right now, how many members would you say are in law enforcement?
I have no idea of exact numbers. We don't keep track on that basis. We don't.
Would you say in the thousands?
I wouldn't say any number or even guess at it.
Do you have members that are in law enforcement?
Absolutely.
You have members that are judges?
Absolutely.
Do you have members that are members of Congress and the Senate?
We have members that cover the social strata from one end to the other, from ditch diggers to congressmen to everything in between. It's not a matter of prestige. It's a matter of ideology and understanding what we're about.
Well, Mr. Pierce, hold on 1 second. We're up against a commercial break. For those who are just tuning in, we are talking with the National Membership Director, Travis Pierce of the Ku Klux Klan. And Truth Fighters, we're talking to you right here, right now. It's the Warren Ballentine Show. All right, that was an interview that aired back in August of 2009. Now, I'm not going to play the whole interview because we don't have the show set up for that today, but there's some other things that happened in that interview that was very surprising. One, he said that they have people who are black working in the Ku Klux Klan and working with the Ku Klux Klan. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I do believe that it is a strong population of membership that's in law enforcement. I really do believe that. Whether you're talking about district attorneys or Department of Justice attorneys or state's attorneys, or you're talking about judges, I really do believe that. See, the difference today between yesteryear with the Ku Klux Klan, they're a LLC. They get tax identification and everything. So they're operating like a business. And what makes good business sense? To get your people into positions of authority. Do you know why they always want to kill or take down somebody of color who is organizing and putting people together? Because their biggest fear is that somebody of color is going to say, look, we're targeting our money, we're organizing, we're coming together. Now it's time to put our people into these different political offices. We're going to run our people for sheriff. We're going to run our people for judge. We're going to run our people for members of Congress, so that we have somebody who's working in our best interest all the time. Imagine if we did that, Truth Fighters. Imagine if we got out of debt, targeted our money, started creating our own businesses, started creating better educational systems in our communities, and then we started running our people. Imagine what they would want to do to Warren Ballentine, just because I'm having the thought of doing that. See, it's a funny thing. History has a way of repeating itself. And the things that I talk about, it's not something that I created. Not at all. This has been here from Marcus Garvey to Malcolm and Dr. King and Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan. This isn't something that I created. I just got enough sense to understand if you tie in a little bit of everything that all of them have created on their own individual stuff, we got a blueprint for great success, even in a country that does not really value us as a people. Although without us, this country wouldn't even be a country, as Frederick Douglass said. What would America be without its Negroes? If we literally got out of debt, now we got position to go get credit. We start helping with the educational system. Now we're ensuring the next generation is going to be ready to take the lead when it's their turn. We start opening up business. Now we're creating generational wealth and business opportunities in our community. So the next step by law, this just natural flow, is for us to be in political positions of power, like sheriffs, like judges, like members of Congress. It's a method in my madness. All the time. Can't give it to you all at once. I got a 10-point plan. I just gave you 4 of the points. We got to get out of debt. We got to create generational wealth to get that educational system right. We got to create entrepreneurship. And then we got to get our folks into these positions of power. Not folks who look like us, but folks who are with us. Talking to you, Truth Fighters, right here, right now. Warren Ballentine Show.
The champ is here. 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 The champ
All right, Truthfighters, welcome to the third and final hour of the Warren Ballentine Show. 877-373-9766, number to dial, 877-373-9766, number to dial. Let's go out to the phone lines. Let's start off with Jonathan in Boston, WILD. He's been holding for a while. Thank you for holding, Jonathan. Welcome to the show.
How's it going?
Good, brother.
It's a pleasure to talk to you. Yeah, I wanted to comment on a couple of things, starting with the 13-year-old beating, because a similar situation like that happened up here in Roxbury, I want to say about 6 to 8 months ago. And our own NP got involved, is involved in the matter, trying to figure out what's going on. It's just ridiculous that, I think we've gotten to a point where we've given police officers too much leeway in their subjective response to protecting themselves. And I say that keeping in mind Amadou Diallo, keeping in mind the name just escaped me, but the brother in New York, Sean Bell, who was killed, keeping in mind this gentleman Denroy, who was shot up here who was shot in New York, a couple months ago while he was exiting a club with his friends, Denroy Henry. Police officers take on great responsibility when they go outside every day, but it's responsibility that they've taken upon themselves. It's a job that they accepted on themselves, and while police officers need to protect themselves, their safety should be secondary to the safety of ordinary citizens and the average American. We put our military...
They should go back to what the cars used to say, protect and serve.
Exactly. And the protection is not self-protection. It's not self-preservation. We want police officers to come home at night every day, but in the end, you risk your life so that an innocent life won't be taken. And it's even worse when that innocent life is taken or harmed or maimed at your own hands. Regardless of whatever this 13-year-old boy has done, you can't say that a 13-year-old boy cannot be overtaken by 3 or 4 officers to the point where, minimal force is needed from that point in time when 3 or 4 officers are there.
Well, I'm gonna tell you the bad part about what I just played on the air. The bad part about it is this: when the little boy, the cop pulled up sideways and tried to hit him with his car. So the kid had to jump over the car not to get hit. When he jumped over the car, he immediately laid out on the ground and put his hands behind his head, face down on the ground. No cops near him. When the cops ran up to him, just immediately started beating him.
And that's what's wrong here, because and I have a fraternity brother who's a sheriff in upstate New York, and he and I talk often about these issues, and he tells me about the way that they train them. Excessive force is sometimes needed, but excessive force, you have to show proof that excessive force was needed. And so the fact that this kid was, and I haven't seen the video, so I'm going based on, what you said and what I heard in the tape that played. Once this kid stopped resisting, once this kid was on the ground and was arrestable, that's when excessive force ends. That's when you put your pride in your back pocket and don't say, "Oh, this kid made me run,"
And that's what that was all about. They were ticked off that they had to chase this boy. They out of shape, and they beat him because they had to run.
To teach them a lesson, and that's when you've gone beyond what your objective or your goal is as a police officer. But another point I wanted to make too, and I listen to your show. I love the majority of things that you say, but you were saying something about you and your friend saying only in America. These things can happen only in America. Listen, as much as it's bad, I think you would agree with me on this. As much as it's bad, especially for people of color in America, there are very few other places in this world that we'd rather be.
Let me tell you this, and I will tell this to anybody in the heartbeat. Whenever I hear some of my brothers be like, "Well, we need to go back to Africa," no, we don't. We built this country. This country belongs to us just as much as it belongs to anybody else. And this country is where you want to be compared to any other country.
Yeah, because in some countries, somebody can pay the police officer to come to your home and assassinate you. No question of that.
Well, they can do that too. Here.
Look.
Let's keep it 1,000 now. Look, not even just Biggie. Let's just keep it 1,000 now. I mean, even with what I'm saying on the air, a lot of times I have to pray for strength because I understand what I'm doing. When I start telling people to target their money, get out of debt, and then let's put our people in the office, that's dangerous waters.
Yeah, that's an important message, especially, and I love the fact that you've taken the opportunity in this type of forum to do it. And even more than that, I'm third-year law student. I'll be graduating
Good for you,
in
brother.
May from
Good
law
for you.
school. And to hear you, going to North Carolina and having these free legal clinics on the air is something important because, regardless of whether or not our kids are doing right or wrong, they still need to understand their rights.
That's exactly right, brother. I'm out of time. I thank you for the call. Good luck with law school, man. God bless you with that. Do it, man. Do it. Just make sure you get good people around you and you understand any area you're going into, because sometimes you could be doing something that you really don't understand and mess yourself up.
News Talk 1090 AM, WILD, Boston, where information is power.
Stay tuned for the Warren Ballentine Show. Call 1-877-373-9766. 1-877-373-9766. Call the #1 truth fighter and stay with News Talk 1090 AM, WILD, Boston.